Basically, I am a hypocrite and I need to tell everyone why I'm a hypocrite, and it's going to be a revelation that you can have as well as to why you are a hypocrite and what we need to change to stop being this way. And it all starts with what can only be described as a nightmare. Something that you would like, you see it in films and it looks like a good idea, but then when you actually get the invitation to go to one yourself, you're like, nah, I don't think I can do this. This is not a bit of me. So we're going to paint the scene. It's 2006. Fergie's London Bridge is in the charts. We've got Rihanna, SOS, Shakira, Hips Don't Lie. This was the summer that I left school. Okay. The summer of dreams. Everyone, like the summer that you leave school is actually, I think it is one of the best summers of your whole life. Not when you leave college, uni, whatever, when you leave school, because it is like a whole world of possibility opens up. And also you finish like dead early, like compared to everyone else. I'm sure you break up in like June. So you have all this time where you also don't have any pressure to get a job because you're like 15, 16. Okay. Yes. I'm sure some people had to maybe have a little job or whatever. I worked in like a newsagent on a Saturday morning. But apart from that, you could do whatever the hell you wanted. Like it was a dream. And then I blinked and I woke up and it's 2026 and I never go on Facebook. Like I very rarely ever go on Facebook. I just think it is the cesspit, like the cesspit of social media apps. I love it because I've got all of my old photo albums saved on there, like literally like with the name of it being like Saturday Night Out or like, I don't know, random names like, I don't know, when Sarah got off her face, like really joke fucking name. So I like going on Facebook to go on my private albums just to have a little scroll. I also know when I'm not in the good headspace, if I click on Facebook and start scrolling, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like this is such a waste of my time. But anyway, must have been in one of those moods. 2026, I'm on the Facebook app, which is so rare. I have a little notification on the top right-hand corner that I have a message. So I click on it. Not just any message like from one person. It's a group, like a big group message. Yeah. All these names that I'm recognizing that I haven't thought of or seen in like literally 20 years. And it is a group for my school year arranging a 20-year anniversary. What? Okay, I instantly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm sweating now. I'm sweating now thinking about it. The maddest thing about this podcast is the fact that I film it in my own living room and I still get fucking nervous and sweaty. It's so fucking bizarre. Maybe when the day comes when I hit record and I'm not like feeling this way, I'll be like, oh my God, I'm feeling really settled. There is a train, like literally all these messages of like dates, when should we meet up, when should we do this, whatever. And you know when you're younger, there has definitely been like films where there's been reunions or TV shows and it is painted as like the most magical thing. Like maybe it's like showing the kids at school and there's that smart one that's going to go off and be a lawyer, and then there's that really cool one that's going to go off and be like a singer of a band or whatever. And these kids go off and then they come back 20 years later and they're like fully fledged grown-ups with these massive careers, and it's like, oh. But the thought of going back now to a 20-year reunion, sends me into a panic, guys. Like sends me into a panic. So I was reading it. Firstly, though, I just want to say, fucking well done. I don't know who the person is in the group from our school year that has organised this, but the people that actually go out of their way to organise this, we need those people. If we didn't have those people, we would do nothing. I would be terrible. I wouldn't get anything done. If it was left to me, it's just not in my personality. And there is kind of that part, you know, when you have got those people that always arranging stuff and always on it, a part of you can be a bit like, oh, bore off. But those people are crucial to our society. Like we need those doers that actually put these plans in motion, because really meeting up and doing cool shit is fun. Like we do need to do it. It's just not something that I'm about. But they've arranged this whole meet up, and it did send me into a bit of a spiral of just thinking of all these different things, and I've made notes, as I always do when I do this, because I was like, I need to talk about this because this has just made me realize how I am like the biggest hypocrite ever, and how this school reunion has coming up has made me think of that, and I wanted to share it. But basically, so side note as well, I don't know if anyone else knows, but because maybe you do, because maybe you use Facebook, because I don't use Facebook anymore, like I forget, or I don't even know what all these buttons do. So I'm reading through all these messages from these people, some of which I literally, majority of them, I haven't spoken to in 20 years. Some of them as well, I actually, and I'm sure I'm the same. So when I say this, I don't sound like a knob because I'm sure they forgot who the fuck I was as well. Some of them I had forgot had existed until I saw their name. It's crazy. And then, when you have like these flashbacks and like all these things come back to you about your memories at school or whatever. So I'm scrolling through. As I'm scrolling through and seeing these names, I swear to God, everything and anything that I've done in the last 20 years completely vanished. And I was just Maria in 2006 looking at these names and look at these people and be like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to see them again. Or, oh my God, I wonder what they're doing. Reading it. And then I don't even know how I did it, but I sent a thumbs up. I sent a thumbs up in the message, which is nothing. But this thumbs up, guys, I was like, how do I undo? And I was like, I can't undo. I can't not send. I can't unsend. Unsending the thumbs up now looks even fucking weird than just being like, oh yeah, fucking hit thumbs up by mistake. And I was like, do I say something? Do I then write in the message? Bear in mind, there's all these messages. I haven't said anything. Yeah. And I will say probably like 70% of people in that group haven't said anything. We're all like lurkers, like just watching and reading and just seeing who's going, just to judge what the situation is with this. But I was then like, I can't then say, oh, sorry, I sent a thumbs up. I was like, oh, just ignore it. Just ignore it. Just put it away. You don't look at Facebook anyway. Just ignore it and don't look at it. But it's got me thinking, because we all want to change. Yeah. We all are adamant that we are not who we were a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah. I am not who I was at school. I was a child. Yeah. Like stuff that I did when I was at school or things that I said or anything, and you're just like, that's just, okay, you're a kid, you're an idiot, you're a fucking knobhead, yeah? You grow up, like that's not who you are, that's not who you are now. And when we go through all these stages of change, we find it hard to get our head around it when other people don't necessarily support our change or like can't support our growth or can't see this new version of ourselves. Yeah, we expect other people, even if we say we do or we don't, I think we expect other people to kind of come on the journey with us as well. And it's kind of like a flippant thing. Like we just say like, oh, I'm not who I was 5 years ago. And we just expect that everyone in our lives to just know that who we are now is who we are and to have that picture of us as we are now in their head. But, and this is where me being a hypocrite comes in. I'm like that, by the way. I'm like, I'm not who I was. I'm so different. Like, oh my gosh, if everyone's seen the fucking bullshit post. Like, if you met me when I was 25, like, erase anything you knew because that's not who I am. Like, all the bullshit posts that the same people like share. Yeah, we know what I'm getting at. But as I was scrolling through, there were people in this group chat that I was like, oh, I never want to see that person again. Like, I can't, like, not, okay, maybe not as aggressive as that, as in I never want to see him again. But I don't know, there are some people that I was like, oh, knob, dickhead, nah, not about that. Don't need to, if I go there and it's just all them lot, like I'm not going, blah, blah, blah. Literally judging, hands up, completely judging, these now grown adults on things that were maybe said or done or vibes or whatever that I felt 20 years ago when we were all children. So there's me wanting to change my life and expect other people to get on board with the fact that I'm different now to how I was then. But I'm still judging X, Y, and Z because of what they said in assembly in fucking 2002. Just let that sink in. And when I thought that, I was like, wow. To the point where there are even, and not even just this, I'm talking about high school. This is a high school reunion, yeah? So like probably the worst kind. The worst kind. No, that's actually not true. That wouldn't be the worst time, but not even just high school, college, uni, whatever. And again, bearing in mind when you're at university, like, or I was at dance college, yeah, till you're like 20, 21, 22, 23, if you go older, like whatever that may be. I went to dance college at 21, so I was 23 when I graduated. Like, you're still not a fully formed, functioning human being. Okay, yes, you're a bit more mature than what you were at high school, but you're still a dick. Let's be honest, yeah? There's still so much to learn. You're still, I'm sure, a completely different person to back then. As are all the other people, most likely, that were there then, are completely different people now. But I still have that, she was a twat. Nah. And it just really got me thinking that I was like, how, it's so true. How I have a version of these people in my head that are in my head regardless of all the growth or change or whatever they may have done over their lives. I have a version of them in my head that is just there. That is just what I think of them. All of them and everybody else that I can't even think of, everyone that's ever come into contact with me will have a version of me in their head that isn't who I am right now. As with you, you will be the same. Yeah. There will be people that have an idea of who you are based on who you were or things that you did or things that you said that is completely different to who you are now. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it other than looking at how you remember people or put people in boxes or how you react to people of your past and trying to give them as much grace and like kindness with the fact that they've changed as you would like people to give you. Because I would say that we almost like, if anyone was to be like, to judge me on something that I said or did like 5 years ago. I mean, I know there are people that say some terrible and do some terrible things however many years ago, but just for the purpose of this, like stuff that didn't hurt anyone, but maybe I made a comment or behaved in a certain way or was stressed or whatever. The idea of them judging who I am now on that one interaction or that version of myself and then holding it against me seems crazy. Like I'd be like, there's no compassion in that. We all change, we all evolve. But here I am not wanting to go and see, I don't know. I want to give, obviously, I've got everyone's name in my head who I went to high school with, and I don't want to name anyone because everyone is obviously off doing their thing. But you know what I mean? You've all got that one girl or two girls or one guy, whatever, from school that you're like, nah, no. And I just think it's so interesting. So I think the thing we can learn from it is to have a bit more grace and compassion with when we're then dealing with other people, because we expect people to just be like, jump on board with the fact that we've changed and we're different people. Yeah. So the question is basically, do I go? Would you go? Would you go to a school reunion? A part of me really wants to go. But the first thing that came into my head when I was thinking about this, and I bet it'll be what you would say as well, is I was like, I would like to go. It depends on who's going. Which if we go deeper in that, because we're getting to know that I like to go deeper into things and overthink fucking everything. But there's more to that. It's more a case of like, depending on who's in the room, will mean that I feel comfortable or not comfortable showing up as I am now. And really, I quote unquote should or would like to be in a place where you just show up as you are anyway. But me going is determined on who I think who else might be there. And this got me thinking about how we show up online and how we put ourselves out online, and how me literally going to this or potentially going to this school reunion is the same as what people feel when they post content and share their points of view online. Like on Instagram, as an example, posting on Instagram, that platform is like the same as the school reunion. So rather than just showing up and sharing your opinions and sharing your thoughts, before you do that, in the same way that I'm thinking who will be at that school reunion, you're thinking, who is going to see this? Who's actually going to watch this? And the thought of who is going to watch what you've got to say or have an opinion on what you've got to say stops you in your tracks or makes you change your mind about how you are going to show up in that space. I felt like, wow, God, I feel like since I've started this podcast, I'm just having so many like really smart thoughts. I'm sure someone will tell me, no, you're fucking not, dumb bitch. But I was like, that is what we're doing. And that shouldn't be the case. But of course, we do see everything through that lens, or I think we do. Of course, that thought's there. Now, having that thought there and thinking that doesn't make you a bad person. And it doesn't mean that you're not sure of yourself or you're not working on yourself or you're not becoming more confident in yourself. I think that is human nature, yeah? Because we all want to be accepted. We all want to be a part of something. We of course, we all want to avoid criticism because it doesn't feel fucking nice. We don't want negative comments or people saying stuff about us or passing judgment on us. But that is inevitable if you're going to choose to put yourself out there in situations where you're being yourself. And I would actually even say, even if you're not choosing to put yourself out there in those situations, it's inevitable anyway, because every fucker's got an opinion. So everyone, like, you could literally go to Sainsbury's and have like be in a rush and make a bit of a rude comment, like not meaning to, like, because you're rushing and you've already put someone else has formed an opinion of you, like someone else in that queue has thought like they're a fucking wanker, without you even like posting your opinions on social media. Like, people are going to judge you whatever you do. So having the thought of being hesitant to post something, to put something out there, or to go to a certain place depending on who's going to be there isn't the issue. The issue, and now I'm saying this out loud and this is now coming out, I'm realizing that I'm now talking myself into going to this reunion, which wasn't the plan because I don't think I want to go. But I lost my train of thought, Rogue. Yes, so it's the action that you take regardless of having those thoughts. That is what matters. And that is what I think determines who you are and who you're becoming. I have so many conversations with my therapist. There's no, like, she's probably going to end up being like a fucking character in this fucking show because I'm going to speak about her so much, but about how we are not our thoughts, we are not our feelings. And that can send me into something, because it's really hard, I think, to be like, to have this, it makes sense. And when people say it like, oh yeah, we're not our thoughts, like, okay, I get it. But actually in practice every day, especially if you're someone that overthinks and thinks a lot of thoughts, and sometimes not a lot of very sane thoughts, yeah, it's hard to actually be like, okay, I'm not my thoughts. So I find it being like the actions that we take in regardless of our thoughts, no matter how fucking loud that thought is, the action is who we are. As a side quest, but I didn't know this was going to go there, but this will kind of fit into this theme. I really struggle going to the gym. Like I really find it difficult. And I find there's so much that comes with that, because I fell in love with fucking lifting weights. I was still quite old, to be fair, in comparison to a lot of people in this day and age. But I was like 27 when I first started lifting weights. Fucking loved it. Did my PT course, started coaching, doing all that shit, yeah. Loved going to the gym, followed all these different programs, loved seeing my body change, lift muscle, feel strong, bad bitch, blah, 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 blah. That whole like gym girl scene. And that's just not who I really am right now. And I find it really hard to go to the gym. I find it really hard to enjoy the gym. It doesn't feel like something that I am anymore, which also then brings a whole new thing, because I'm like, how is this something that I find so difficult when I remember the version of myself that found it so easy to do? But it doesn't happen every week, but I'm really trying to go to the gym 3 days a week. From the moment I wake up at 5:30 until I get in my car to drive to the gym, which is probably about 6, during those 30 minutes, I cannot tell you how many times I think, do not go. I am constantly looking for excuses and reasons to not go. Yeah, I do not want to get in my car and go to the gym. Oh, it's wet, it's raining. Could I push my session back to tomorrow? Do I really need to go? Well, I don't know. And then I negotiate with myself. I'll literally like, okay, we'll just get in the car and go. And as long as you get there, it's fine. Like, you can come back home if you don't go in, or maybe you'll go and you can just do 15 minutes on the treadmill. That's fine. And just walk for a bit. At least you're moving your body. And then I will do everything in my power to talk myself out of going. But I still take the action. Yeah, I will still go. Okay. So I'm really trying to reframe it as, okay, no, I am someone. And even when I'm in the gym, I don't feel like a gym person still. Like it's so weird. Like I feel really self-conscious. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But I have to keep reminding myself, like, I'm not this fucking half an hour, 90 minutes fucking run of thoughts of trying to talk me out of doing the thing and being a dick to myself and tell myself I don't belong in the gym, blah, 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 blah. I did the action. So I am the action. I went to the gym. I am someone that goes to the gym. I went to the gym. I am someone that goes to the gym. Yeah. So that is where I feel like we need to focus on. So even if you have all of these thoughts of like, oh, I hate putting myself out there. I hate talking on camera. I hate doing whatever and sharing my opinions online or whatever. No, if you take the action, you are becoming the person that you want to be, which is the person that actually shows up and shares their opinions. The same with this. Like, I want to be someone that goes into these situations like a high school reunion and is friendly to everyone and speaks to everyone and makes everyone feel comfortable. Like, I'm so aware that if I decide to go, notice how I'm still saying that because I'm not fully committing. If I am feeling this way about that school reunion, there is no way in hell that other people aren't feeling it. They're all feeling it. So if I'm going to go, I want to be the person, regardless of all the thoughts that I'm having about it before it and all of the talk about getting out of it and all of like, oh, I don't want to do that. And those thoughts have been there, like even, oh, what reunion? Like, oh, I don't want to do that. Which isn't like, that is literally just me trying to make myself feel better for not going, because that's such a horrible thing. Like, that's a cool thing that someone has arranged a reunion for a whole year group 20 years later. Like that, those are just like negative little horrible thoughts almost to, in a weird twisted way, to make me feel safer, or my brain trying to make me feel safe for not wanting to go and put myself out there in a difficult, uncomfortable situation. So it's like me almost like trying to justify it by making it like not a big deal. So that's why it's okay to not go. But actually it is a big deal because I'm nervous about it. So of course that's a big deal. But I want to be the person that is there then, making everybody else feel comfortable, because I would love it if there was someone else there that made me feel comfortable. So the actions that I choose to take are who I am. And I can't control the other Maria, that version of Maria that other people will have in their head. I don't even know what that version of Maria. That's another thing, yeah. We worry so much about what other people think of us, but we actually have no idea about the version of who we are that's in someone else's head. We might have an idea. We're assuming that they might think X, Y, and Z. We don't actually know, because again, the story inside our heads that we tell ourselves, it can be so insanely different to what we portray on the outside. I spoke at an event at the weekend. I spoke at Georgie Cooper's Boss Blueprint event in London. It's the second time I've spoke at one of her events. And I said this after that. I felt so insanely nervous about speaking at that event. And I don't know what it was. I don't know why this one. I wondered if it was because it was in London. So just because the last few events I've spoken at have been in Manchester where I live. So already I haven't got that, like I know the city, I know where I'm going, I know where I'm speaking. So you haven't got that added pressure to it. So it felt more relaxed. So I don't know if it's because I was going up the day before, I was in a different city, I was speaking about something slightly different, it was a different group of people. I don't know what it was, but I was nervous. Yeah. I was really nervous. Yeah. And I was literally going through my slides and reading out, like acting it out, or like practicing saying my talk out loud in the hotel room, because I was nervous about it. I have done that before, but I usually sometimes I've got to a point now where I can kind of do it in my head, but I was really practicing it. When I was up there, yeah, my mouth was so dry, guys. Like I felt like my lips were like drying up, like physically as I was speaking. I felt like everyone could see that my lips were disappearing because I was so fucking dry mouth and nervous. And it felt like I was talking at 100 miles a fucking hour. Yeah. And I was so like, what is, like, I obviously spoke everything through, but I felt so insanely nervous to the point where I felt like this is not going well. Like, this is not going well. I don't know if this is what is happening here. Like, just everything that was going on internally felt horrific. Yeah. Afterwards, obviously, I had feedback from people. People said they enjoy it. I asked like a couple of like my friend Jamie that was there was also speaking, and like obviously Georgia herself. Like, was that okay? It felt really. They were like, no, it's absolutely fine. Blah blah blah. I got the footage back, watched the clips, saw the clips that people had shared with me or whatever, me speaking. I didn't recognize myself because the person talking looked so fucking calm and confident that really, because that was not how I was feeling inside, but that was what I was portraying, which I think does come into the fact that I've got like a performing background and am very good at disassociating, apparently, just because of past trauma. So I can like switch it off and just put on something different. But people are doing that all the time. So you're doing that in your everyday life in different situations. So even if you think you know what someone thinks about you, you probably don't, because what you're portraying is, especially if you're anxious or nervous or feeling a bit unsettled, is probably very different to what you're feeling inside. It's like it's two different people. So those people are seeing a different version of you, of what you're experiencing in your own mind. What head fuck that is, by the way. But yeah, So we don't know. So many of us let the fear of what other people might say or think, other people's opinions, people that we don't even fucking know sometimes, we let that dictate our actions. And we don't want to do that anymore. We really, and I know it's easier said than done, but we really want to fight through that and not let that happen. Like, we control our actions. I know people say we can control what we feel and what we think. When I'm in a good headspace, I agree with that. When I'm in a bad headspace, I don't, because sometimes it feels like I can't control my thoughts and my feelings. However, we do control the actions we take because of those thoughts and feelings. Like, I do feel quite strongly about that. Because even if the thoughts are there and they're horrible, I can choose to not stay in bed all day, or we can choose to go outside. Because I'm also very aware when I am in a certain mood, I'm sure you've been in this mood as well, where you're choosing not to go outside because you can't be asked. So if you're choosing not to do that, you can choose to do it. It is a choice. So it kind of makes you remember that it is a choice. And going back to this thing about, because this was something else I was thinking about, this idea of everyone has different versions of us in their head, depending on what they've made when they met us. Something that I was thinking about this reunion as well was how, I don't know what it would be like to be in that room with those people that I know only know this version of me from 20 years ago. How do I show up as the version that I am now around those people? And the reason I was thinking about this is because, when you're in certain situations with different groups of people or with family members, as an example, I'm sure we've all had this. I have this all the time. When I go back to my parents' house, if I go back to my family home, especially even more so if I go back without Lewis, if I go back without my husband and I maybe go back and see my parents for a couple of nights and just catch up with my mum and dad or whatever, as soon as I am laying in my childhood bedroom, and I wake up that first morning back at my parents' house, I swear to God, I'm 14 again. I'm 14 again. It's actually insane. Like, I'm like, I don't know, just habits or things I do. I'll have to consciously be like, right, help clear up dinner after we've eaten dinner and things like that, because I'm so used to, like, it's almost like I turned back into a kid when I was a kid and I used to do that. And my mum used to do that. I know it sounds like a bit weird, but like, I have to really think about, like, no, don't just leave that there. Like, take that back, like, because it's so easy to fall into just becoming that person that you were before. And it's like we just morph into these different versions of ourselves. And then in the same way, when I saw certain names in this group chat that made me feel a certain way, the girls that were like the more like this, the more popular is not even, I feel like I went to high school in a very small village. And as much as I wanted to like be in a high school like in America where there was like different groups of people and like lockers and all that stuff, like I lived for wanting that teenage American dream. That was not what a fucking school in the east of England in a little village was fucking like. Like, no. I think we had lockers at one point in high school, and I feel like we did, because I remember being like, oh my God, we've got a locker. And it being really cool, because obviously in Saved by the Bell and shit, they all had lockers and it seemed like the best thing in the world. But it wasn't like that. So we had different groups, but it wasn't like, obviously, you guys know, I'm sure you fucking went to a similar school or whatever, like our school system was very different. So yes, people, of course, there was like bullying and there was people that had more friends than others or like different groups, but it wasn't like what you'd see on Mean Girls with like different fucking groups of people. But there were definitely people that had stronger personalities. There were definitely girls that would have like kicked your head in. Do you know what I mean? That you avoided. And seeing like certain names in this group chat made me feel like that kid again that was like, oh, I'm scared of her, like, no. And I couldn't, like, it's just so weird to be like, I wonder what kind of version of myself I would be around those people. Going back to the parent thing, it's the same thing as like, so for my birthday this year, for my 36th birthday this year, Lewis bought me tattoo vouchers because I've got a tattoo on the back of my left arm, which is the most basic bitch Pinterest thing you've ever seen in your life. I don't know. And I literally did just pluck it off Pinterest. Is what it is, yeah. But I'm like, I really want something doing to that. I want it made into something different. So Lewis got me tattoo vouchers for my birthday. When my parents asked me what Lewis got me for my birthday, I was like, um, for real. Like I hesitated because they hate my tattoos. Yeah, they hate my tattoos. And even now, as I said, at 30 fucking 6, when I first had this done, this big one here that I couldn't actually hide, I kid you not, I went home and had a jumper on. I had a jumper on at the house and I was boiling and I didn't take it off because my nan was there and my 2 uncles were there. And I was like, I can't be doing with the conversation about me having a tattoo this large. I mean, I know there's people with so much bigger tattoos, but for me, it's like a relatively large tattoo. I can't be dealing with this conversation about me having a tattoo. As a grown, like I should have just fucking, I was hot. I was sweating, guys. I was fucking dripping. But I was like, I can't, because in my head, I was like that teenage kid, awkward, whatever version of Maria, where like their opinion really matters and tattoos are bad and I shouldn't have tattoos. So even then, like I didn't want to tell my parents then and my nan that I had tattoo vouchers. I did because I had the thoughts and I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like you're a grown woman. Like tell them like, oh, you like tattoos. Just put it all out there. Say you've got you've got a tattoo voucher. So I said, yeah, I've got a tattoo. I made myself take the action of saying it out loud. That's what I had. But that's because when I'm around them for too much or just anything, I just can turn back to that version of myself that is not the version that I am with you. Yeah, with you on this podcast or with my friends that I've met now, or there's friends that I knew in my 20s that I went through like mad life shit with, that have seen me in like the depths of hell, that have seen versions of me that my friends that I've met maybe in the last 2 or 3 years haven't met and see me differently. And I find it hard to maybe potentially like talk about work or business around people that knew me when I was a mess head. I mean, I'm still a mess head now, but mess head in a different way. Like it's hard to, it's hard. I find it so tricky. That's what I mean when people are like, and this is why I also understand why people really struggle with the whole, like, just be yourself, because we all have so many different parts of ourselves. And we like, it's almost like, we turn up and turn down different parts of ourselves sometimes depending on who we're with. And yes, the ultimate goal is to surround ourselves with people where we don't have to turn up and down. We can just be, of course. And like I do believe like acting from that place that the majority of the time is when you're like the most in the alignment and things like that. But you are going to be a little bit different. Like me standing and delivering a talk at Georgie's event, talking about something that I'm passionate about and I have knowledge about and I'm like educating about. That's still Maria, but that's going to look like a fucking different Maria to the Maria that walks into this fucking high school reunion, potentially, if she goes. Like, it's hard. It's really hard and it's really, really weird. I just wanted to share that because I just think it'd be good for you to think about, especially if you are on a bit of a journey yourself where you are changing, trying to develop yourself, going off into new areas. It can be anything. Maybe you don't drink anymore and you used to drink a lot. Maybe you don't party as much anymore. Maybe you are like going through a bit of a fitness thing, but you never used to be fitnessy. Maybe you are setting up a business, but you've never done that before and people know you from when you just a wreckhead. Whatever it might be, yeah. We're all going through these changes and we all want people to accept us and acknowledge that we're changing, and that's a good thing and that's okay. And of course, we want people to do that for us. But are we being that compassionate and are we being that understanding of other people? Are we giving other people as much grace and, yeah, just grace for and understanding that they're not who they were 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago? And that's okay too. Are we doing the same? Because I think if we gave everyone a little bit more leeway with that and was a little bit more understanding how we would want people to be with us, we would just, I don't know, things would feel a bit better. The world would feel like a bit of a better place. Am I going to go to the school reunion? Let me know. If enough people fucking watch this, if enough people watch this, subscribe and comment and tell me to go. If I get 20 comments saying that you have to go to the school reunion, on YouTube, not anywhere else. If I get 20 comments on YouTube saying you have to go, then I'll go and I'll report back. If you enjoyed this episode, if you're liking the show, hey, is this thing on? Please like, subscribe, comment, let me know. It does so much, actually, sharing episodes or subscribing to a YouTube channel. It really does a lot for the person putting the stuff out there. So if you do that for me, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you next week with another episode.